And okay, and nice to meet you. I am Sofia Bodra from Consorzio Sociale Omnia and Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello, and today I will present you a case study based on our direct experience in the Ecoefficient project. Sorry, because this is my very first lesson. I've been a student, but I've never taught anything, so please be patient and stop me if I'm boring. But I think I'll be brief, also because you have a lesson after this one with Levi Shalom, which is a computer scientist, so he will explain you a lot of things. So let's start from the agenda of today. So I will briefly present you the Consorzio and the Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello through our history and our mission. Then we will see our role in the Ecoefficient project and why we have been invited to participate, and the reason why. Then we'll go through some more technical aspects, so the definition of the animal byproducts that I think you already seen with Dario Dongo in the previous lesson, and then the process to obtain the authorization to transport the animal byproducts. Then we go deeply in the case study description, so in the detailed description of the logistic operations. Of course, this is performed through a big collaboration with other technical partners, so both the computer scientists, the project hub that coordinates everything, the many partners, because it's complex to put things together. And then again, the place for answer and question and answer at the end. So, Consorzio Sociale Omnia is a legal entity which represents a group of cooperatives, especially type B cooperative, and it's in Italian sono cooperative di tipo B, which are different from the type A cooperative, because the main issue is to integrate people to work to the labor market. And Omnia comprehends these cooperatives that you can see, so Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello, Cooperativa Genova Insieme, Cooperativa Sociale Maris, Pulirella e Pellicano Verde. These cooperatives are specialized in different sectors: the cleaning services, the environment and ecology, the catering services, transport and health sector services, and the waste management. Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello, to which I belong, is the linked third part of the consortio and performs the operative part in the Ecoefficient project. Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello has been founded in Genoa in 1985 is a type B cooperative, so the main focus is the labor insertion. Our mission is to integrate to the labor market the disadvantaged people, so all the people with physical and psychological limitations and difficult backgrounds, such as alcohol and drugs addiction, people who stayed in jail, or foreign people who comes from warring countries. The idea is to combine this purpose with the market requests of specialized and high-quality services. Because especially now, the labor market is equal for the cooperatives and the traditional companies, so we have to specialize our people in order to stay on the market. In the next slides, just some pictures of the main sectors. We have 5 main fields of actions. The waste management, so both urban and special waste. So we perform the collection, the transportation, and the disposal of waste, both for public and private clients. And it depends if we have to collect, I don't know, paper, plastic, or special waste, like in the second picture. And then there is the green maintenance sector, which is the biggest one, and the first sector where the cooperative began. And it provides many different services. So from the garden maintenance to the tree climbing services, as you can see in this picture. And we provide natural engineering and creation of green spaces, both in Genoa, in Savona, in the eastern part of the region. And then finally, there are the cleaning service sector. Here, for instance, we have the maintenance of the Aquario di Genova, and then the pest control. So especially in the historical center of the city, we perform this kind of services. Okay, now we can switch to the role of Consorzio Sociale Omnia in the Eco-efficient project. So we are the logistic partner. It means that in the easiest way to define as we perform the transportation of the side stream between the partners, and we manage all the logistic aspects. In particular, the consortio has participated to the project thanks to the collaboration with AMIO, which is the municipal company for waste management in Genoa. We collaborate with them through the years, and then they ask us to participate. We have a long year experience in transportation and waste management. During these first 30 months of the project, of course, the operative actions have been performed by Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello, and I managed the project, and then there are some operators that perform the operative actions. So during this first month, we collaborated to the logistics of sample management and to the creation of the workflow from the producer to the extractors, and we collaborated to the realization of the application of the 5W platform that Levi will explain you in the next lesson this afternoon. Then, of course, this is the very first time for us that we participate to an Horizon European project, and there's the very first time that we work with animal byproducts. So I will explain you how we obtain the authorization to transport them. And I will show you the entire process, because as a core business, we manage waste generally, not animal byproducts, not food. So we have to follow a process to obtain this authorization. So I think that we already seen this with Dario, but again, just to define a bit the issue. So the animal byproducts are defined by the regulation 1069 of 2009. They are defined as entire bodies or parts of animal products or animal origin or other products obtained from animals which are not intended for human consumption, including ossities, embers, and semen. The regulation defines also the derived products, so the products obtained from one or more treatments, transformations, or step of processing of animal byproducts. In this case, we talk about derived products. So the side stream that it's generally called waste, but it's categorized as animal byproducts. In particular, in the Eco-efficient project, we manage the category 3 materials. So this category comprehends the aquatic animals and parts of them, except sea mammals, so not showing any signs of disease transferable to humans or animals. aquatic animal byproducts originated from establishment or plants manufacturing products intended for human consumption. So we will see that our producers, or the side stream providers, are plants or establishment or store as COP, as we will see. Okay, so as I told you, there's a big process to obtain this authorization, and I take the responsibility for the project after one of my colleagues left the cooperative, and she was in trouble with this because it was very difficult to at the first sight to define the animal byproducts, and then to explain to the local sanitarian authority why we have to perform this kind of transportation. That's because the animal byproducts have a different regulation. Is different both from food and from waste, as you have already seen. So from our point of view, we had to follow a procedure in order to obtain this authorization. So we had many contacts with the local authorities. In this case, it's Azienda Sanitaria Locale 3, so of Liguria, in particular in Genoa, so the Genoa department. And of course, they asked for some requirements. One of these is the technical report. So that is a detailed description of the eco-efficient project, its purposes and goals, and a description of the entire process and all the parts involved. So the producer, the transporters, and the receiver. We began this process when during the sample management phase, when we had to transport the COP samples to Temis in Legnano, but then it changes. It changed, so now we are in a different phase, so in the implementation phase, but still in a research phase. And thanks to the idea that it's a research project, the local sanitarian authority makes some exceptions to the regulations and let us be authorized to perform this kind of transportation. Okay. So go more deeply in the technical report. I have attached you here. Is in Italian, but it's just a description of the eco-efficient project with purposes and goal. I had to add the focus on the work package 1, so on the animal byproducts valorization, because they want to understand why we perform this transportation and what kind of operations we do with these side streams. Then there is a description of the subject involved. In this case, it was made for COP side streams as producers, Cooperativa Sociale dell'Australia as transporters, and Temis as yes, they treat the animal byproducts. Then again, it's requested the detailed description of the transportation and logistic operations and the equipment used. So I have to provide them the technical sheets for the boxes for the fridge container, and the address of our legal site, and the operational site. And then they told us to take a register, and because for each transportation, as we will see in the next slides, it's required a document for transportation, as it is for all the other kind of things like food and waste, but in this case it's specific for animal byproducts. So after a very long journey and many contacts with local authorities, we obtained the authorization as transporter. So there is a register, you can find it online, that collects all the companies and private that are allowed to transport animal byproducts. And we are, maybe you can read it. We are registered as with an identification number, with the consortio, the name of the consortio, and the operational site. So Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello is inserted as the operational site. Then I didn't attach it in the slide, but there is the authorization also for the container. So it's a fridge. I will show you the pictures. And the polystyrene boxes. So also the equipment has to be registered, and it has an identification number that it has to be shown on the fridge. And also the vehicle has to, the truck, we have a sign that declare that you are transporting category 3 animal byproducts. Okay. Okay. As I was saying, the one of the very, very important requirement is the traceability, because the Regulation 1069 of 2009 requires industry operators to ensure traceability in relation to animal byproducts or derived products that they ship, transport, or receive. As for all the things that are transported from one point to another, in particular for this kind of side stream, all the shipment has to be related to a commercial document with the detail with a detailed description of what we are transporting. So it's important to keep records of consignment and related commercial document with details. Animal byproducts must be traceable at all stages of the chain. So from generally, these documents is made in 3 copies. So one from the producer, that has to be, the producer has to sign the document, the transporter, and then the final destination. I call the animal byproducts in ABPs. In the next slide, we will see this abbreviation, but it means animal byproducts. Okay. So let's switch to the more logistic operations. So starting from the providers or producers, side stream producers. So in this case, we are looking at the chain, so from Coop and Acqua to the Temis machine based in Genoa. These are 2 very different providers, completely different, I would say, because Coop is a very big organization, and so the decision-making process is very complex because it put together many different people, starting from Coop Italia. So we have the direct link with Coop Italia, and then the operative part is made by Coop Liguria, and in particular has been chosen a store, which is Ipercoop at Bolzaneto, which is a very big store, which has been chosen for this trial. So it's complex because there are so many parts involved, and but it's very interesting because these kind of side streams are different from the Acqua and the Generale Conserve, so are different from all the others providers in the Ecoefficient project, because it's a mix. So it comes from many kind of fishes, and it depends on the sales on that day, and also on the season, because of course in winter season there are some kind of fishes that there aren't in summer. So for the research applications, it's very interesting because of this mix. On the other end, there's Aqua, which is a small company based in Lavagna, so in the eastern part of Liguria, and their core business is the offshore mariculture. So they in the open sea of basses and sea breams. So orate e branzini, okay, in Italian. And they have these both in Liguria and Sardinia. So they have a small dimension laboratory, and they realize a very high quality product. In fact, the side streams that have already been analyzed in the first phase of the project, so in the sample management phase, showed very good results because of the quality of the product. Especially if I remember correctly, the gelatin part of the sea bass were very good. So it's an important provider because of the quality of the fish. Of course, to create a similar workflow both for COP and for Aqua, it's difficult because they have very different procedures. They have different dimensions, as I told you, and so they have so we have to compare these two providers and create an operational workflow the more similar, but it's not that easy. It's complex, and I will explain you why. So we've seen the providers, and now we see the transportation that is performed by us, by Cooperativa Sociale Rastrello. So this is the equipment that it's very easy for the beginning. So there's a fridge container that keeps the temperature constant, and it's just a fridge that is connected to the vehicle battery, so it keeps the temperature at for instance, in this case, it's frozen, and it keeps it frozen. And then the polystyrene boxes, which are required by the local sanitarian authority, because, as I told you in the technical report, I had to describe the process and the equipment used in details. So they want that we put the side stream in plastic bags and then in polystyrene boxes. And also this part is a bit difficult because in COP stores there are some procedures. So they put all the side streams together, and they are not refrigerated, not frozen. But for the aim of the project, so for research reasons, they had to change their process, and they had to every, I don't remember, but every, I think, 4 hours they have to keep the side stream and put them in the freezer, because they have to keep the temperature low for healthy reasons, of course. And because we have to, through the whole chain, we have to avoid the cold chain breaches, because in this case the side stream will be damaged. So for us, yes, we have to go to the COP stores or in Lavagna, and we collect the side stream, we put them in the polystyrene boxes, then in the fridge container, and we go to JAM site. The particular things in this case is that I'm explaining something that it's not happened yet, because at this stage of the project we are waiting for the machine, the Themis machine, to be installed in the GM site, and I will show you some pictures. So the transportations are not being performed yet. So this is the theory, and we will see in practice how it will work. Okay, that's not the that's not the gem site, but it's a similar Themis machine. So the machine will be put in a container because the gem site is in the Genoa harbor under a bridge. So it's at open air, but the machine needs to be in a container because can't, of course, has to be safe. And the idea is that the operator with the side streams go inside with the stairs on the left, and there is a controlled room where they put the side streams, and then they put in the machine that the machine works, and the output comes out from the machine. It takes 6 to 8 hours. It depends on how much water is inside the side streams, because the very innovative process of this machine is that it dehydrate the the side streams, but we don't know yet the output. So it depends from the amount of water, from the amount of viscera, bones, skins, because the as I told you, it's a mixed, so it's not divided in bones, viscera, and other parts of fish bodies. It's all together. So we will see what will be the output. And Jeremy is waiting for the placement of the machine. But it will be probably be ready in the next month, so in May. I want to tell you that it's a very complicated process, because, of course, obtain the authorization to place this kind of machine in a waste plant. It's not yet easy, because the local sanitary authority and the municipality has to certify that it's possible to treat animal byproducts there. So there is a very strict requirements and legislation. Even there are some exceptions, thanks to the fact that it's just a research project, but still, it's not easy. So there is scientific partner, which is Mikamo Lab, and they are doing a very great job to mediate between the operative actions and the authorities, because they supervise the entire process to make it compliant with the requirements, normatives, and laws that are required from the local sanitary authorities. So after the treatment, the animal byproducts are no more defined as animal byproducts. So just probably it will be a powder, but we will see after the first empirical trial, because it's not been performed yet. So this kind of powder, I will explain you how it will be used. Okay, again, this is the description of the entire process. So as you can see, there are the providers, the transporters, and the final destination. So there is Copenaqua, and they provide us frozen animal byproducts, and they store them in plastic bags. I want to tell you that also these things is not that easy, because of course these are process already in actions. So both Aqua and COP had to buy a new freezer to store the material. They have to find a space to store it. And so it's not easy for each step. There is to adjust the already alive process to the project. So it's not simple. And then as I told you, we go to COP and Aqua, and we collect the materials. Probably we will have the boxes, and they will give us, the providers will give us the plastic bags, and we store them in a fridge, in this fridge container at a controlled temperature, and we bring them to the GM site in the Genoa Harbour, where the animal byproducts are stored and in a fridge. Because when we arrive there, the ABPs are, so the side streams are frozen, but the Themis machine treat it when they are just refrigerated. So we have to leave there probably for from 4 to 6 hours to defrost, and then the machine can treat it. So there is a big involvement of different stakeholders, so from the producers to the people in GM site, which have to make the machine work. So again, we will see if it will be possible to perform all these operations with all these different aspects and people involved. The quantity depends on the providers. The idea is to go to COP once a week and to Aqua twice a week, because Aqua produce a lot of side streams, and they don't have enough space to take. They have a very huge fridge, but not a not a freezer. So we will go there twice a week to take these ice streams, and COP once a week. When we reach more or less 200 to 300 kilograms of side streams, the machine can start to operate. So the idea is to perform two different process with COP and with Aqua, and to see what kind of output comes from the Themis machine. So again, it should be powder, but we have to see if it will be depending on the input, of course. So we'll see. Okay. As already mentioned, the traceability requirement is very, very important. And the scientific partner, so Mikamo, prepared this document that has to be prepared it has to be made by the transporter, and so by my colleagues, the transporters, and the GM operators. This is a kind of document to check, let me say, the requirements. It's very simple, so it's a visual control, a visual check to control the hygienic compliance. So, for instance, the absence of dirt, pests, and animal droppings in the vehicle and in the fridge. The verification of the commercial document, as I told you, is very important to look at the origin, the destination, the quantity, and the typology of animal byproducts. In the case of aqua, is very easy because they have just two kind of fishes. In the case of COP, it depends. Every day it changes. Then the operator has to look at the packaging, because it's important also the packaging compliance, of course. Probably it would happen that the bones, for instance, break the plastic bags. So the operators have to check if there are spills or deformations or injuries or anything like that. And the vehicle temperature compliance. Our fridge has a thermometer and an alarm if that can be set on the temperature required. So if it goes over the temperature or too much under, it will notify it. But still, just a bit. This is the unique one that has an instrumental registration control. Sorry. Okay. So. As I told you, the creation of this operative side stream flow is still in progress. So there are many aspects to take into account. So normative, legislative, and operative. So we are performing a weekly meeting with some partners of the Work Package 1, so Micamo Lab, Cloud, 5W. So and we are coordinated by Project Tab because we have to take into account many aspects, really, from the what kind of boxes is better for the transportation, to where to put the bin to collect the side streams, how much is big the fridge. So it's a very practical application, but we have to combine it with the necessity to track all the chain, because the idea is to create this operative flow in order to prevent damages to side stream. So, for instance, the cold chain breaches or lost or side stream losses, because they want to make them usable to create other value chains. So we are working together to understand the more efficient and best ways to collect them, transport them, and transform them into powder and use it. So the workflow that I've explained you is monitored from the beginning to the end by some IoT devices, which are connected to the 5W platform. And we will better understand this in the late afternoon with Levi, because he and Gil Davidoff are created the platform and are creating the IoT devices. But also these small devices create troubles because they have to be put into the bin under the place where people in COP clean the fishes, and then in the fridge that we use for the transport, in the fridge that is at jam site. So again, for each step, it has to be decide where and what to do. Okay, so this is an example I wanted to show you. I think that maybe I've stolen this process from my computer science colleague, because I think that it could be more representative of what we are doing. So there is COP point of sale, which is a picture taken from Ipercop L'Aquilone. In the bin that is really an aluminium, I don't remember if it's steel or okay, bin with a plastic bag inside, and there's a sensor, as you can see. Um, the sensors stay in the bin, so they remove the plastic bag when it's full, or at least 8 or 10 kilos, and they put them in a freezer. The freezer is in Coop store and is monitored with the yes, the temperature is monitored, and and then we go there once a week and take uh, the bags and put them in the polystyrene boxes. And in our fridge there is another IoT device that monitor the temperature. And then finally we transport it to the jam side, sorry, where there is a freezer, a fridge. It's not a freezer, it's a fridge with a sensor again that monitor the temperature in jam. Okay, here again is the just to understand the operative workflow from the source node to the transport through the transport to the process node. And it involves again many different people, but it's necessary to track all the chain, because we anytime we create a new batch, we have to give it a name, so create a new batch ID, and it has to be recorded on the 5W platform. In order to understand to link the input with the final output, and understand if that batch had some problem during the transportation, or something like that. So it's important to track during the all the chain. Okay. Okay. Maybe we can stop 10-15 minutes. So I will show you the post-Themis part. Okay. So the post-Themis, again, we will see what will be the output after the Themis machine treatment, but it will probably be a powder that has to be sent to the extractors, so to the Unige, to Mikamo, and to ARPAL to perform tests and researches and analysis. This is because we want to understand which research field it's possible for these side streams. Probably it will be good for the soil fertilizer and soil improvers, so for agricultural applications, because for the other value chains, as the cosmetic one, it's more difficult to obtain the authorization through all the chain. I think that you've seen with Matteo Russo in the lesson dedicated to the cosmetic that it's very difficult. So for this side stream, probably the best destination will be the soil for the agriculture. But we have to see after the treatment and after the analysis. Unfortunately, during the research phase, the sanitarian authorities require that the most part of the the output, except for the part that will be dedicated for the research purposes, is destined to the incinerator or hopefully to the biodigester. This is because until we don't know if there are any damages for the health of both for the human and for the nature, we don't know if we can use it. So part of it will be incinerated, and then hopefully it will be used as a soil fertilizer. But again, it's not possible to decide it now. We will see after the analysis. So the post Themis, the post Themis output will not be will no longer be an animal byproduct. So it's not required to store it in a fridge or in a freezer. So it will be a powder, and it will be transported in a easiest way, because it's just I don't know how it can be defined, but it's a research sample. So it's not required to have a cold chain, also in this case. So we will transport it to the extractors to perform the analysis, but in a very small quantity because they don't need a lot. And then we transport that as a waste, as a special waste, to the incinerator or to the biodigester. I think for the incinerator we have to go to Milan or Turin, because in Liguria there aren't incinerators. The biodigester is near Savona or Imperia, I don't remember very well, but we will take it there. So it will be defined after the analysis of after the empirical application of this process. I forgot to put this slide in the presentation that you have, and I will send you again. Because the other part we perform as logistic partner is the collaboration with the Work Package 4, so the one dedicated to the fishing nets and the plastic. So we perform also this transportation. So we in 30 months, I think we performed it twice. We transported the fishing nets from aquaculture in Lavagna, and that's the same one that provides us the side streams, and from Cooperativa Armatori Motopescherecci in Santa Margherita Ligure to the technical partner, the VP leader of the Work Package 4, so to Consorzio Proplast that has the plant in Alessandria, to analyze them and to find out how it's possible to reuse it and to realize one of the other 6 value chains that the project want to realize. This is easier is easier compared to the Work Package 1 job, because it's just, we can transport it with a commercial document, but it's not animal byproduct, so it's very easy. To conclude all this, I think that the entire process, it's still a work in progress, because as I told you, there are many aspects to take into account, and there are many stakeholders. We are in different places, so we are based in different European countries, and just some of them are here, and we can see directly how things are done, and we have to combine the theory with practical applications. So the general purpose is to start a virtuous circle for the blue economy that regards our city and our territory, and introduce, an innovative process to the traditional ones that we are doing now. And so we still have to to do a lot of work, because it's the first time for us and for other partners, and and it's still, again, we're in the process. So um, that's why maybe it's still a bit confused how to realize all the things, but we are working for that. So um, so the I think that it's more or less everything by my side, because this was just a case study. So um, so our experience, so it's the first time that we experience this thing. So um, we are learning by doing.
Okay.
So good afternoon. I'm following on the footsteps of Sophia. She's done a good job. I've been with you for the last half an hour. So if I had known earlier, I could have joined earlier, but never mind. So the presentation will be interwoven. We are talking in the same project. What I'll try to cover in this short time we have together, we'll look at the logistical value chains and the challenges we have to realize the things I'm going to present, and it's really correlated and interwoven with the things that Sophia already presented to you. I'll give you a little bit of a background on statistical data. My domain of expertise is supply chain, and I deal with the things that I like quantitative models. So I deal with a lot with data in my professional experience, and I think data is important. So we'd like to be quantitative, and in this project also quantification is interwoven in the project. We're currently working on a theoretical model also to predict the throughput of the different value-added resources that comes out of these side streams, and also to build a viable economic model that will enable us in the steady state to realize the things we are talking about. Then a short introduction. I think I'll make it shorter because I think Sophia already presented the project. And then we'll deal with the different CVCs, the circular value chains that we are covering in this project. They are divided to two sections. One is the organic ones, and then the non-organic. Then we'll really go into details into the main logistical challenges, and we'll talk about the value chains, different one, then organic, non-organic, few samples of the CVCs, what we are dealing with when we talk about logistic processes. And we talk about also managing this process using a computer platform to realize and manage and the flow of information and material in real life situations. Background. As you all know, there's a really an exponential growth in the fish supply for the last 50 years, from the 1960s onward, due to the population growth all over the world. You know, the numbers are mind-boggling. We are talking about almost 5 billion people in the planet, and we have to provide and feed these populations. So we tend to find other available sources of nutritional food, and one of the main ones is the sea. As you see in the numbers here, the fish meat is surpassing the meat from land animals, as is stated here. This is data from, you'll see it later, from the United Nations organizations that cover these topics. And look at the numbers per capita from 9 kgs to 20.2. It's amazing. It's more than double. And look at the last number, more than 70% of the fish caught, we cannot consume it in the source node. We have to subject it to further processing before being placed on the market, either as canned ones or other types of processes. But the byproduct of these things is the waste, the creation, a huge amount of waste. And what are we going to do with it? As you've seen stated here, 55% of the fish are processed either in industrial fisheries or less processing is small-scale ones. And the amount of waste that is generated is amazing. This is something, it's not common in industry at all. You think about it, the input of one unit, and you'll get 80% of waste in the other side. This is not an economical, practical from economic point of view. Wasting 80% of the material, we're talking about material, not this is not software, you know, electronic things that we write software and we don't have almost now no hardware goes into it. In this case, this waste, the amount of waste created is huge. Continuing with this statistical data, provide you with a few samples to give you a better understanding what we are talking about. Look at the salmon ones. Salmon, the gutted head-on gutted salmon, 70% waste. Salmon fillets, it increases to 45%, and the canned tuna, is 70% waste. One of the side stream providers in our project deals with tuna. So think about it as we stated. You take one unit and you have to throw away 70% of it, and the logistic behind handling, collecting, handling, moving, transporting, and at the end, dumping or burying, landfills. This is usually what happens to the waste. I have to tell you that I was very surprised when we started to collect material for the call. Usually we are talking about the research, and this is a research okay, the calls are research and development ones. But I tell you honestly, all the ideas that presented here have been done already, carried out in a small scale, extracting these value-added resources from the fish side streams, either for using cosmetics, nutrients, nutraceuticals, food additives, and animal feed, such kind of things. All of it has been done already. So there's no novelty or innovation in this case, in these issues. But the major thing about it is it's done in a small scale. And the big idea or main challenge, our project, how do you scale up? How do you scale up going from a small amount to huge amount to create a new industry? Actually, it's a new industry, and that you have a steady state, continuous flow of side streams material that you can handle it, take it, extract these value-added resources, and produce final products with the resources. Depends on the application. There are finished good applications per sector, either cosmetics, food, or biofeeds. So this is the, I think, the most challenging things, and there are few similar projects running in parallel in all over Europe and other continents dealing with these things. And nobody has come out with a practical solution yet. We'll talk about it. This is part of the challenge of this project, or to scale up these operations and make them viable in the steady state in the long run. Further examples of final products, as I stated, fish meal. Look at the number here. Fish meal produced from fish waste will represent almost 40% of fish meal productions. So it's a staggering numbers, and that's why I talked about scaling up. We talked a lot of huge amount of materials. Okay, it's unbelievable even. If no questions, comments, I'll continue, please. And as Sophia stated earlier, high-end products, collagen, gelatin, leather, plastics, cosmetics, food supplements, such kind of things. The project. So what we would like, as we stated here, to demonstrate and replicate cluster implementation of systematic solutions of CVCs. It's not explicitly written here, but the main idea is scaling up. Okay, scaling up these processes and actually creating almost from nothing a new industry. The CVCs that you've seen, we start with the organic ones. As Sophia presented to you, we have got in the organic ones, we have 3 different CVCs. 2 of them are, I think, are different from the other. The third one, the one you've seen, the coupe, the one from Ilvov coupe, because the CVC ones, as you've seen, the Ecosphere C at the source node, we have two types of side streams created from CBAS C-Brim. It could be either separated or mixed together. It depends on the process. And you'll see the whole process flow. It starts with the collection of the side streams. Once we start processing the CBAS and C-Brim, and depends what you're gonna do with them. And the side streams will be collected. Depends. Okay. And each type of CVC, the collection and the storage. In this case, if you've seen, Sophia was talking about the Themis machine. We would try to avoid moving a huge amount of material from side to side, because this transportation, as you know, is also carries out with it It's not environmental friendly. We use few fossil fuels that contaminate the environment, and they carry out also costs. So if it's possible and justified economically and by volume, the scales of the processing, we can, in one of them, you'll see that we put a Themis machine. The Themis machine, you've seen the photo. We'll put it in the source site, in the source node, to process the side streams over there, and then we'll extract, as Sophia stated, almost 70-80% of the material that mostly are liquids or what, and we have the powder. And so when we have the powder, we have, of course, less material to process and transport, and it will be done in the source node, so we avoid a lot of fossil contaminations through the fuels, and the costs associated with transporting this huge amount of material. And then it moves to the extractors to process and extract with the different processes the value-added resources. We talked about peptides, gelatin, collagen, and other things. Another thing I think you should bear in mind, usually as a consumer, when you go to buy something, usually you have an idea what you are going to buy. Yes, you are looking for a new garment. You have in mind the type of garment you are going to buy, the size, the materials that the garment will be made of. When we are going to industry, when we buy raw material, the raw material is predefined. We have an item that characterizes the item in a specific characteristics. If it's in pharmaceuticals or food or such kind of things, we haven't defined also the quality. But think about these side streams. When you collect the side streams, you don't know what are the contents and the quality of this material prior to processing it and sampling it. Okay, and this is an issue. When we get to the COOP CBC, we talk about it, because there, I think it's more problematic than the others. Here, even as it's stated here, it's a sea bass and sea bream. We have two types of fish, and think about it that this, we have a mix of the discarded parts comes from the head, the fins, bones, such kind of things mixed together. So we don't have an actual definition, exact definition of the contents of this side stream, and this is another challenge. The next challenge, think about it, a cultural thing, and we've seen it when we started to, as Sophia started, we are moving from the theory to the practical issues. The people that are dealing with these side streams currently treat them as a waste. Tomorrow morning, we need a paradigm shift that they're going to treat it as something with a value, and it's not an easy thing to carry out. It is something that's not happened from day one to day two. It takes time to treat the side streams as something that has value, and keep it in a refrigerated or temperature controlled environment. And you have to think about it. It's a challenge. Also, this another challenge when we come to deal with people dealing with these side streams. It's a nice thing to call it a side stream, but in real life, still it's a waste that currently is put in a bins, and the truck comes, collect these bins and take them to dumpster or whatever. And we need to change also the attitude of the operators in these places toward the side streams. The second side streams is parallel to the previous one. It deals with tuna. If you recall, the waste from tuna was staggering 70%, if I recall correctly. And as I stated earlier, we have also a CVC that deals with tuna. The process is almost similar to the previous one. And we need to, one of the things we are trying to do through the sampling and the research stage is see which one of them, which type of value-added resources we can get them in a better quality, and the amounts we can extract with these types of side streams. So over here, in this case, also, if it will be the volumes will justify it, we can put also a Themis machine. That's in the statistics for sure. We have to put it in the source node to process the side streams and create the eco fish powder at the source node, and then we don't have to carry, as I stated earlier, all the materials and move it forward for processing in other places with all the associated cost and contamination. This is the one you've seen the photos, and get to the next slide. It is you've seen you'll see it the slide with the pictures of the hypercoop and the fishmonger. Here, this is a very complex side streams. Why? Because we don't know, as Sophia stated, this is the content of the side streams. It can change daily, and also seasonality effects. And this is a normal things in life, in industry, that you don't know the content of the material you are buying and the quality of the material you are buying. Okay. So we carried out a lot of discussions and with all the partners involved in this to formalize the process flow and how we're gonna monitor everything. As Sophia stated, and I would like to emphasize, currently the regulation is very strict. The regulatory issues involving dealing with these side streams require us, as we have seen, I'll go to these photos you've seen already. Why do we need the IoT device? We need the IoT device because in the hypercoop or the supermarket over there, it's air conditioned, but it's not enough. Air conditioning, it could be 20 degrees, 25 degrees, depends on the person also, if he likes to be cold or warmer. But regulation here requires us, as it's not so clear from the slides, but we need the IoT device need to monitor that the temperature is not the storage bin is not higher than 6 degrees Celsius. Okay. In case it goes to higher than 6 degrees Celsius, we call it a temperature breach. We passed the threshold, the threshold, and the IoT device will send an alert to the responsible person at the site to review and take an action, maybe disqualify the side streams or not disqualify it. Depends how long it was in this state of higher than 6 degrees temperature. And again, as Sophia stated, we take the side streams that are collected in the bags in the bin. We move them to the freezer. We put them in the freezer, and in the freezer also, we monitor the temperature. As you've seen here, there's another IoT device. We have to verify the temperature does not exceed, is not higher than minus 16 degrees while it's in the freezer. And also it continues during transportation. We monitor it using a data logger or another IoT device in the transporter to verify the temperature is still under or equal to minus 16 degrees Celsius. And when it moves to the processing site at GEM, and over there it will be unloaded from the transporter truck and put in a freezer over there also to be in a temperature controlled environment. And you see, we follow the system and the process from all over the nodes to verify that no temperature breach happened in either nodes or during transportation. It's not a 1-0 situation here to disqualify the side stream, because even in the pharmaceutical food, and it depends what happened to the batch, or in this case the side stream batch. If it was exposed more than, let's say, half an hour or 1 hour, 2 hours, depends. And the temperature at the room at that time was, let's say, 25 degrees, 30 degrees. It's the one thing. And if it was, let's say, 7 degrees, and it been exposed to 5 minutes, the side streams, I'm not so sure it will be disqualified. So it's not a 1-0 decision. Somebody has to get, when he gets the alerts, he has to go and check and make a decision. So it will be an informed informant, somebody that has a little bit understanding in quality issues, to take a calculated decision. As the system can recommend and present him with the data, but it comes to people to take the action and decide what to do and what not to do. Now we move to the non-organic CVCs. If you have any question, let me know, so we can. It's not a one-sided lecture. If you have questions to verify things, please let me know. Raise your hand and ask them. Anybody? Okay. I hope it makes an interesting case and everything is clear. The next thing we move to the non-organic CVCs. In this case, we talk about ecosphere soil. Here we have bio-based PLA fish boxes that we collect them at their source node, and after that we have a batch of collected bio-based PLA. As stated here, they are CO2 rich. We move them to move and clean them and move them to the processing node. And over there, there's one of the partners, as written here, he designed the fish boxes, molded ones, injection molded fish, and it's registered, a trademark of them. and they're gonna produce these fish boxes, and the fish boxes will move along the CVC to fishermen that are involved in the project or not involved, like in GAS or Aqua fish packaging, and or external stakeholders, as stated here. And by the end of life, the used one, the eco fish boxes will be collected and returned for treatment, and will be processed as natural-based soil improvers, and that's how we close the loop. We haven't started going into details about the process flow of this CVC. Currently, we are dealing with the technological and issues, but in the coming months, we'll go into details also to cover these CVCs. Mainly, we cover the organic CVCs so far, going into logistical details of the processes. As you recall, you've seen the photo of the collected aquaculture nets collected from fisheries or fishermen. Depends from which sources. The discarded fishing nets or disposed of discarded fishing nets are collected, and they need to be, as it's written here, they need to be processed. First of all, the sorting, cleaning, and disposal. All the foreign bodies have to be removed that are entangled in the nets. And currently, this is a manual operation. And this is something as we are going to talking about scaling up. Scaling up will require mechanization of this process, and here we have a challenge. This is not part of this project, but I think for the steady state, the sorting, cleaning, and disposal, the sorting and cleaning operations, first, the main challenging one is removal of the foreign bodies entangled in and stuck in the nets. I think this is something should be mechanized in the long run. Not a simple operation for mechanical instruments, but we shall see in the future, in the coming future. Once we remove the foreign objects and we sorted the nets per material type, we clean them. Cleaning here mainly is done by washing the nets, and then they can be used as raw materials in plastic production. As so who is familiar with it, we're talking about milling and extrusion, creating polyethylene 6, polyethylene 66. Propoplast is a partner in the project, and in this case, the final application, we are talking about car brackets, and the car brackets will be sold to in the automotive industry part that are external stakeholders. They are not part of the project, but this is an application and as a potential a commercial potential. A similar one of another use of nets. These ones are collected from fishermen, and again, we think the challenging operation is the removal of the entangled bodies, objects that stuck in the net, sorting, cleaning, and then it would be either the source node or the processing node. It depends. I'm talking about the steady state, not the research state. And then here we are talking about polyethylene products. Again, these nets should be sorted by after the cleaning by the type to be processed. Again, we're talking about plastic operation processes, so milling and extrusion. And here we talk about PE, polyethylene lamination, to use in cosmetic packaging. Okay. Then the cosmetic producers are not part of the CVC. They are external stakeholders in this case. But again, we have a potential commercial value of this side stream. Another CVC, last but not least, is the ghost gears. And ghost gears, this is something also covered in this project, and a lot of activities, because ghost gears mainly, people, the fishermen themselves, or people discards object. It could be the fishing nets, could be other things that are left in the sea, thrown into the sea, and they contaminate the sea. And on this project, in those objects, also marine things grow up on it, and so the work and energy to collect, clean, sort without damaging the environment during the process of removal, this is also a challenge. And we have seen few activities. The WWF carried out few activities during the last 2 years of removing and collecting ghost gears. Think about it to, again, in this case, scaling up and more and processing large scale and at the industrial level of ghost gears. We require major operational or logistic infrastructure. And once we removed it brought it to the shore, and again, here again, we have to sort and clean it and dispose what it's not possible to recycle. And depends on the outcome of the sorting and cleaning, the types of material that we're gonna use it in the maybe fishing nets, might be plastic to be processed, such kind of things. It goes back from here to the previous CVCs. It will continue the process over there. So I suggest that if you want, we can take a break here for a few minutes and continue. It's up to the audience. You want to take a break or a few minutes?
Yes, maybe. Thank you.
Okay, for how long do you want to say? So we'll adjourn for 5-10 minutes. So let's take a break for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes we'll continue with the presentation.
Okay.
Thank you. So welcome back, everybody. We've finalized the last CVC related to ghost gears, and now we would like to go and cover the main logistical challenges of these CVCs. As stated here, when we are talking about recycling processes, this is we are we are talking about the side streams. We use them as a product or a raw material. It doesn't matter. We have to treat it as something with a value. Okay, as any other industry. And as stated here, how can we have to put in place all the facilities, infrastructure, and environmental conditions. So this recycled product or side stream will be recyclable as long as possible. And the next challenge with it will be what are required, what are the things that are required to enable these things. And when we go to the next slide, let's talk about a few issues. I'll get to this slide later on. When we talk about challenges, logistical challenges, we are dealing with when we talk about, we started with the source nodes. If you've seen the CVCs, first of all, we have the first challenge is cultural things, how to change the mindset from something that is treated as a waste currently to something that has value, that has inherent value, and we can use it as a raw material. We can sell it and make even profits from this side stream. This is the thing that it's not going to happen in one day. And the next issue of handling of these side streams is the logistics infrastructure we have to put in this place. Think about it. We either nets or fish, discarded parts of fish in the supermarket. As seen currently, they put it in a bag in a bin. They check the bin and dump it in a dumpster, and later on the waste truck comes to pick it up and take it away. The company will pay either taxes to the community, the municipality, or for the trucking company that collect the waste. Depends, and that's it. In the existing process, but changing, moving to and treating the side stream as something with a value, it's a revolution. We need a place. First of all, you have to put it in the bin and monitor the temperature, as we've seen earlier, because we have to see that the temperature is lower than 6 degrees. The next thing, you have to carry the bags and put them in a freezer, and you have to label these bags, because each side stream per day or a few days, it's a different batch. We are talking about batch. This batch, I need an item number, a name. In our language, in the professional language, it's called an item number and a description, and then you have a batch number. Either you write it with a pen, it doesn't matter, or print a label from a software module. The next issue is when you store it, is coordinating with your customer. We call it the customer. Okay, this is something with value. You have to coordinate with your customer the shipments. The customer can pre-order it, coordinate with you the time of the pickup. Either you're gonna transport it, or those going is transportation to pick up the side stream. And think about if we are talking things with value, we need to. And in every transaction, we have to talk about money transfer and documentation, such kind of things. And as you've seen in my presentation and Sophia's, during transportation, we also have to monitor for organic side streams. We have to monitor the temperature and follow up that it kept in a temperature controlled environment till it gets to the next node, that is the customer. if we are not in the supermarket, we're going to the fish processing plants, either tuna, sea bream, sea bass, such places. So again, we need to take the discarded parts and the side streams, put them in, collect them, put them in a storage. Again, this is something, this is a raw material. It needs a dedicated storage place. And again, we're talking about organic things. We need a freezer for that. And here we talked about the huge amount of side streams. We need to create a semi-plant for the Themis machine to process this, defrost it and process the side streams and create the ecofish powder to be later on sales again. Store it and sell it to be sold to the customers in downstream, upstream, wherever, whatever you're gonna call it, and these things have to be coordinated. All these activities, we have resource consumption, energy, water, labor. We need extra storage space. We need investment for all the new things we talked about, and all these expenditures was going to finance them, and when we're gonna have a ROI, return on investments, we have to calculate these things, because in real life we need the economical viability. Otherwise, nobody is going to do anything. And on top of it, we have the environmental impacts taken into consideration. Let's see that the new processes are not more contaminating, more impacting badly the environment more than the previous one, the existing one. And this is something in the EcoFish project, we are collecting data, statistical data, to verify and validate that the new processes are greener and more environmental friendly than the existing ones. Any questions regarding to this topic so far? Something somebody would like to comment? Okay, if not, I'll get back to a little bit about technology. This is one of our responsibility in this project, also to create the cloud platform. As you know, this is a buzzword. Everybody talking about cloud platform, computer software systems. The idea of a cloud platform is that the software resides in the cloud and it's available to all the partners. In this way, you don't have software and hardware in the ends, either sources. So it's more centralized, and installing, maintaining, and operating is cheaper. This is specifically economically viable for SMBs, small medium companies that don't have the resources and the capital to develop this type of platforms on their own. So they're gonna what we call SaaS, SaaS, as a service, we take the software as a service. You pay a certain fee per month, per year, and you can use the platform for you and run the platform, all your operations on the platform, and it will be accessible from everywhere once you have, of course, internet access to the cloud. We currently we call this platform the SEAPPP, and we already designed and developed a beta version that will be live tested. We will start with the COOP CVC in the coming months, quarter 2, quarter 3 of 2024. the beta version will be deployed and live tested. And later on, we'll move to other CVCs. In the final time we have in a project, we'll cover all the CVCs. And in the infrastructure already there, we would like to carry out the pilots. And we would like to create the processes that are using what we call keys, is keep it as simple as possible. Less interference with and difference from the existing processes, to avoid burdening with mainly the operators and the people in the Coop hyperstore, hypermarket, or the supermarket, or at the fish processing places, plants, from changing their operations drastically. In this way, the gradual implementation, we can also achieve a cultural change and shift in the attitude towards these things, and we can make it economical viable. So, and scaling up these processes, we can reach the aim of this project in general. By this, I've finally finished this, so it's open for discussions. I hope you have questions. If not, I'm just worried that it was too boring or too technical. I don't know. So the floor is yours, audience.